Hey guys, Andrew here with Great Lakes Sprouts Media. Today we're going to be talking about pests, integrated pest management, other ways to prevent them, cultural practices, mechanical practices, biological, and least chemical. Let's give it a go, guys. I'm going to show you some problems that I have here on some plants and how we're going to treat them. I got these trees here. These are urban apple trees, really cool. They only get 2 feet wide, 10 feet tall. Planted them here in this area, protected from the deer. I have a little bit of a problem this year on the new growth here. You can see these tiny little bugs here called aphids. They're really eating the new growth where it's nice and fresh, like a fresh green, nice fresh strawberry or cucumber. They like to eat the softer tissue versus the lower part here. It's a little bit hardier. So these aphids are on here, they're chewing up all the sugars underneath, and they'll actually exude sugar from their behind, and ants will come. It's called honeydew, and they'll start to eat the honeydew, and it's almost like a symbiotic relationship. The aphids give the ants the honeydew, and they protect them from other insects. Ladybugs will come and try to eat the aphids and other predators, but the ants will help fight them. So it's kind of like they're protecting each other. So you can see here, I blew this stuff on here yesterday. It's called diatomaceous earth. It's tiny, aquatic, ancient fossilized remains. So pretty much it's silica is the main compound here. It's also beneficial when you put it on the plant. The silica helps with drought resistance, hardening the tissues and things like that. But the diatomaceous earth, the thing it does, it actually, when the bugs walk through it, if you look under a microscope, it's like walking through a bunch of little shards of glass. So it cuts their exoskeleton. And the cool thing about it is they never become resistant to it. But the only thing is here, if it gets wet, it kind of renders it. So you got to reapply it again when it gets dry. But this is a good way to put it on your plants without using very harmful chemicals. They do say it might harm bees and other insects like that. But as long as you keep it targeted on here, there's no flowers on this yet, so no bees should be landing on here. But I want to protect this plant here with the diatomaceous earth. It seems to be working pretty well. I applied it yesterday. I do see a lot of dead carcasses already. It's still some of them alive. But yeah, diatomaceous earth, guys, real good. You just take it and just blow it on there. Really good for plants, even as a preventative before you get problems, you can use it too. And don't worry, it's food grade, so if you eat it, it's not gonna hurt you. People use it for bed bugs. They use it for all types of different insects. If you got fleas or bed bugs, even your dog, you can put this stuff in his bed. If he's fleas and things like that, it's not going to hurt your dog. I feed it to my chickens. I'll blow it in their chicken coop too to prevent spider bites and things like that. I'm also going to show you guys another method. I actually have a fogger. We're going to show you guys how to mix it up and how to use neem oil, which is another very effective control. It's an oil, a plant-based oil. They actually found it in India. A guy back in the day noticed there was all these locusts eating all these trees in India, and he noticed that the neem trees were uninfected. And this product came to the market for that very reason. It was kind of found on accident, but neem oil is really good. It kind of has a garlicky smell. Not only does it kill the insects, but it also is antifungal. It also will stop raccoons from coming on it. You can use it. People use it for themselves and their skin, but it smells like a nasty garlic smell. So you don't want to put it on yourself or anything like that if you're going to be going out and things like that. But the neem oil, the way it works, it does a hormonal change to the insect, but it also covers them so they can't breathe and things like that. But neem is really good for both, like I said, funguses, for pests and other things. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a mixture of it. When you add oil to water, it doesn't emulsify. It's hydrophobic, so it kind of looks like a lava lamp. When you ever put oil in water, it just kind of, or olive oil, you ever see that, put it in water, it just kind of floats around. So I'm going to show you guys how to emulsify it. And we're going to use this fogger that I got. It's pretty cool. Let's go check it out. So we got our neem oil here. You can find this stuff at a lot of Indian stores, like it's not like the European stores have too. But if you can find an Indian place that sells food, like grains and things like that, they'll typically carry this stuff too. You can find it online too. But when you're using it, mixing it, like I said earlier, it's hydrophobic. You'll pour it into the water. We want to use 10 teaspoons or two teaspoons per gallon. We have this machine here, it's a half a gallon. So 10 drops equals 1 teaspoon. If you're using a whole gallon, it'd be 20 drops. So I like shake this up a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see how that oil is like hydrophobic? It's just floating on top. We need to use an emulsifier. An emulsifier will help release that and make it an aqueous solution and mix together. So I'm gonna take 1 drop of dish soap, free and clear. Get stuff that has no dyes in there or anything like that. Just 1 drop. A little bit of warm water too, doesn't have to be hot. And then we're gonna take our sunflower lecithin, basically just a teaspoon of it too. I'm just gonna eye it out because my spoon over there is really wet, just a little bit. Sunflower lecithin, you can find this stuff online too or at your health food stores. And then we stir. You're gonna see, I'm gonna stir for a while. This is gonna help the neem dispose into the water. You really wanna stir it, make it go good. Then we could take this mixture, put it into our gallon. In this case, we're using 2 liters. So one option here, if you guys don't want to buy that machine over there, I'm gonna show you guys how to use that too, is another cheap method here. You just get one of these sprayers. They sell them at most stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, and things like that. But we're gonna take this, mix it into here, and then fill this up with the rest with water. As we're applying it, we wanna be shaking it. Yeah, we can mix this stuff up ahead of time too and let it sit for a while. I'm gonna go get some water and fill the rest of this up. If you don't have the sunflower lecithin, you could just use the dish soap too. But as you're applying it, make sure you're shaking the bottle so that it's constantly getting mixed in. All right guys, so I'm gonna use the pump sprayer. Like I said, the diatomaceous earth, I applied it yesterday. Once it gets wet, it doesn't work as pretty much anymore. It just gets soft. It'll dry back up again, I'll apply more, but I'm just doing this for educational purposes. So I'm gonna put this on mist. As we're applying it, we're gonna pump this up. Make sure your seal is tight. Anytime you're done with these, always release the seal too. That way your tools will last longer because it breaks just like a BB gun. So now we're gonna go to our plant. We wanna make sure we're getting above and below because the aphids are all below. They're not really chilling on top. So as I'm applying, shaking it like bacon. Takes typically 3 to 4 days. So the neem's gonna suffocate the aphids. So it's also a thing they won't get resistant to. But neem also contains an active compound in it called azadirachtin, which actually messes with their feeding. It messes with their stomach. It makes them like basically not be able to eat. I'm gonna apply a little bit more on this side. Really wanna get underneath there. Like I said, you can use this as a preventative too. Prevention is always better than cure. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys the fogger, another one down there. I'm gonna take this same mixture. Actually, I'll make another one. I have one over there I made earlier. I'm gonna add it to the fogger. It's my first time using this fogger, so if you have a big row, hundreds of trees, you're not gonna mess around with this little sprayer. You wanna get yourself some commercial grade equipment. So we're gonna use this fogger, guys. Let's check it out. All right guys, if you're on a commercial level, like I said, this is a fogger. We made the same mix up again. 10 drops, 1 teaspoon. This is a half gallon of neem oil, a little bit of dish soap, and about a teaspoon of lecithin. Make sure you really shake that up in the mason jar. Like I said, if you want to make it a couple hours ahead of time to really get it to mix in, just keep shaking it. But we're gonna be able to fog these plants a lot faster and do a whole area. We're gonna go back there and do some other plants too as a preventative, but I'm gonna turn this guy on and show you guys. Got the battery charged. We're gonna turn it on. You have low setting and high setting. So here we go. See how much faster that is and more effective? Just a nice fog. We want to be shaking it as we do it. I'm gonna hit it by fig tree too. Just a little bit. There's one more thing to mention, whether we're using pesticides or herbicides, we always wanna know the label. The label is the law. Remember that label is the law. We should be using these chemicals exactly how the product says. Don't be like, I gotta kill these weeds, just dump it all in there. Because if the EPA shows up, you're doing commercial properties, you know, your own house, you know, you can get in a lot of trouble. And not only that, you can hurt yourself. We also want to look at this product here for PPE. It means proper protective equipment. Should we be wearing a mask? Should there be certain winds? You know, if the winds are all high, that stuff can go over to your neighbor's property and other areas too. Making sure we're wearing glasses and things like that. Proper disposal, re-entry times to greenhouses and things like that. You know, first aid, what to do. Have everything ready to go in case something happens. Precautionary statements. Always know your measurements. If you're ever unsure, you can always call. If there's something that happens, there's usually a number. But remember guys, the label is the law. So make sure before using any product that you're using it properly, because I don't want you guys to get hurt and I don't want you guys to get in trouble. Yeah, this stuff here guys, this is an organic weed killer. Just because it's organic though, doesn't mean it's always safe. You can eat about 100 apple seeds to kill a grown male like me, which with cyanide. You know, organic doesn't mean safe. Oh, it's organic, it's good for me. No, that's not how it works, guys. A chemical is a chemical, whether it's from a plant or it's synthesized. All right, we're no diseases on here really, but we want to prevent. So we're going to apply a little bit. Like I said, if you see something flowering, don't apply on it because I got a beehive back here. And I don't want to hurt them, but they're going for the clover right now. There's a lot of clover out. This tree is going to have a lot of fruit. And I want to prevent the deer from eating it too. This was just one method here we use, is the neem oil. Like I talked about before, you guys really want to learn about the integrated pest management. First thing is cultural practices. That's what we always want to do. Making sure we're not bringing in diseased plants, make sure we're choosing plants that are disease resistant, making sure we're clean before we go in our garden, make sure our plants aren't stressed, things like that. Then we have physical. We can remove plants that are bad. We could pick the diseased or pest infected parts of the plant off. And then we get into biologicals. So they have, you can actually buy funguses that actually attack insects. Bavaria bassiana is one of them. It's an endopathogenic fungus that goes into the aphid and eats it from the inside out. Then we got parasitic wasps. Those take their ovipositor, they'll inject it into the aphid and lay eggs inside of it. And it's almost like Alien, where they come out like, "Rawr," and they'll eat the bug from the inside out. And the least thing we want to do, the last thing if we really have to, is chemicals. But if you are going to use chemicals, use more plant-based stuff like neem oil. They have stuff called B86, which has clove oil in it. It's got mint in it and other stuff, rosemary, those things like that. There's a lot of plant oils that we can use and emulsify them with water and use a fogger or a sprayer. Try to stay away from really, really harsh chemicals. We have pyrethrins, which are actually a systemic pesticide. A lot of ornamental people will use it. It's, like I said, it's a systemic, so it goes into the plant and it's consistent. What happens is we plant these outside, the bees come and collect the pollen from it, and it hurts the bees, it hurts a lot of insects too. So unless you're a greenhouse grower and you're about to lose your whole year's worth salary because you have to make these plants go to market, a lot of people will use these harsh chemicals. Just there's that threshold, is there anything I could do before I'm using these harsh chemicals? Like I said, cultural practices, physical, and then we got biologicals. So chemicals should be our last choice, but look at the integrated pest management triangle. Very important to know. I'm so happy you guys are here today. Got some good information out there. If you guys have any more questions, again, please comment below. Don't forget to like the subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.